Welcome, welcome, one and all. Today I promised everyone a very special treat. I'm going to teach you all how to create an infinite arsenal of weapons, armor, and musical instruments using only one piece of any primary material in the game. This will save you countless hours of pointless enemy grinding, which will be better spent actually creating stuff instead. So let's get to it. First, cover all the preparations you need to do this. So to start, you need to have 2 different game files. And I don't mean start one game and make 2 saves from it. You have to start 2 completely different games that are independent of each other. And for this example, I have one game file with a male character and another with a female character. Now, the first game file is going to be your main game, which I will be referring to as A1. For this one, you need to have your workshops like the blacksmithing shop and the instrument workshop, so you can create all the wonderful items your heart desires. Next, you're going to need progress, by which I mean you need to have the junkyard established and complete most of the quests in that area, particularly the Professor Baum quest where you fight his golem Pavlov at Lake Kilma. And finally, you need to have one piece of whatever primary material you're going to be making your items out of. Also, if you're going to be making musical instruments, you want to have at least 1 gold coin from each of the 8 elemental spirits. You can use silver coins if you want, but gold coins always make instruments with more potent spells. Once you have all of that, save the game at home. For the second game file, which I'll be referring to as B1, all you really need to have is the junkyard established with the Professor Baum quest completed. Then go to Louie's room and save the game there. Now, the second file isn't all that important. It can be a friend's game or even just a throwaway file you made specifically for this. And also, one last thing that you're going to need for both games is money. Lots and lots of money. Now you're ready to begin. Start by going into your A1 file and go to the workshops and create whatever item you most desire from your one-of-a-kind primary material. For this demonstration, I'm going to be creating a 2-handed sword from adamantite. Once you have your item made, if you have any desire to do any tempering or altering, now is the time to do it. So use your secondary materials and whatever recipe you have in mind to jack up your weapon or armor as much as you want. Also, if you're going to make items from more than one primary material, you can create more items from those as well, but to keep things simple, I'll just be doing one item at a time. Next, it's time to go to the junkyard. Once you arrive, talk to the flowerling and have him teleport you to Professor Baum's room, and then talk to him. Professor Baum will tell you about a new business he wants to start, which, after a lot of babbling, basically boils down to you being able to buy and sell items with other players. And if you haven't figured it out already, we are going to be abusing the shit out of this. So, once Professor Baum is done with his explanation, pawn the item you just made in the workshop. Next, talk to Pavlov and have him take you to Louie's room so you can save your game. But don't save over the game you loaded. Instead, save a completely new file. For this demonstration, I'll be saving on my second memory card, and I'll be referring to this game file as A2. And again, be very careful that you don't save over the A1 file or you will really, utterly fuck yourself. Now, you need to reset the game and go into your B1 game file, which should start you right at the junkyard. Now, talk to Pavlov and have him take you to Professor Baum's room. Talk to him again and choose to buy items. Then select the A2 game file and buy the item you just pawned. Now, when it comes to prices, Professor Baum decides that all on his own. However, you do have the option to haggle with him, and each time you do, he lowers the price by 10%. So you can haggle up to 5 times to buy the item at half price, but any lower than that, and he'll just tell you to fuck off. So once you buy the item, you have to go to the memory card with the save file that you bought the item from, and agree to override the save data in order to take the item from it, and give it your money. Next, you can go back to Louie's room and save the game to your B1 file. This is a very important step which should always be done immediately after every transaction, because by overwriting the other save file, you've just deleted the item you bought from that file. And if you reset the game without saving first, the item you just bought will disappear and you'll have to start over and make another one. So, once you've saved, go back to Professor Baum and pawn that same item you just bought. Then go back to Louie's room and save your game again, but this time in another new game file, which I'll be calling B2. Reset the game and load your A1 game file, which should start you off at home. Go to the junkyard and talk to Professor Baum and buy the item from the B2 game file. And with that, you're done! Not only should you have the new item you just created, but so does the B1 game file, and best of all, you still have the primary material it was made from. Now, you can feel free to repeat this procedure as many times as you want and save over your A2 and B2 game files in the process. Now, after repeating this a few times, you'll likely notice that even though this procedure isn't costing you anything in materials, it definitely costs you a lot of money. But before you go grinding poltergeist with Niccolo to make the money you need, there's a much faster, more effective method you can use, and it starts at Luon Highway. Once you're there, you want to start grinding for wind caps, which are dropped by spiny cones, and clear feathers, which are dropped by stinger bugs. Now, you can bring a polterbox with you to expedite your grinding, but it's not really necessary because these item drops are fairly common. And you want to have at least 4 clear feathers for each wind cap that you have. So, once you have at least 1 wind cap and 4 clear feathers, go back home to your blacksmithing workshop and pick altar armor. Next, pick out one of your wind caps to alter, then pick one of your clear feathers to use on it. Now, with the first one, nothing special should happen. Then go back into altar armor, pick the same wind cap again, and use another clear feather on it. This time, your wind cap will be imbued with the mystic effect Lord of Flies. Now repeat this 2 more times, and each time you use another clear feather, your wind cap will get another Lord of Flies effect added to it. Now that your wind cap has all 3 mystic effect slots filled with Lord of Flies, go to the nearest shop and go sell it. And it shouldn't be too difficult to differentiate your altered wind cap from the others you might have, because the one you just altered is going to sell for over 26,000 lucre. So, now you can create an endless supply of equipment from a single piece of material without ever using it up, and you can easily make yourself the piles of money you need to buy your own custom-made items from your copied game files. It may take some time to get all the items that you want, but it's certainly a more productive use of your time than grinding enemies for excruciatingly rare item drops. So that's it. I hope you learned a lot from this, and I hope you all have lots of fun making items, printing your own money, and basically breaking this game over your knee like a freaking bondage slave. I know I will. And now that I have completely endless supply of equipment, next I'm going to be delving into golem construction. See you then!